development, not to mention the books that had inspired the series. He wouldn't dwell on that. Not now. For a moment, Kara softened against his touch, leaned into his palm. By this point in the long filming day, she stank. So did he. So did everyone else. So did the entire horseshit-strewn field. Mud had burrowed into places he didn't care to consider. Portraying misery and perseverance against all odds wasn't much of a stretch. Dido shoved him away. "You are a demigod," she reminded him with a sneer. "Married to another and an adulterer besides. You lay with my sister, and she fell on her sword in disgrace at such a betrayal upon word of my return from Hades. I can only hope she too rises today and takes her own revenge." Shame, so easy for him to muster, bowed his head.
"I thought you lost forever. Lavinia may be my wife in name, but she has no hold on my heart. And Anna—"
His brow furrowed, a plea for understanding despite his seeming betrayals.
"She was a tarnished mirror of you, nothing more."
The thought appeared unbidden.
Unapologetic Lavinia Stan is going to fucking detonate when she sees this scene.
"You've betrayed mortals, and now you betray the gods as well. Pious Aeneas indeed." With a swift, crouching swipe, Dido reclaimed her sword. "I'll have my own revenge first. All others will have to settle for your torment in the afterlife." Her grip was sure and steady on the weapon, and she brandished it easily. Despite a heavy bronze handle, the sword's blade was blunt, lightweight aluminum for the safety of everyone involved, exactly like his. Still, the impact of metal against metal rang out as they began the dance they'd been learning for weeks now. His movements flowed without much thought, the product of endless planning and repetition. The fight coordinator and choreographer had carefully planned each motion to emphasize the one-sidedness of the battle. Dido was trying to hurt him, but he was attempting to disarm her and avoid wounding her in the process. After driving him back with a sudden, violent surge, she rasped, "No man will defeat me!" More horses galloping past. Partially obscured by the smoke, escapees from the underworld bit and kicked and swung and aimed discarded weapons at their mortal and immortal foes, who were attempting to drive them back to Tartarus. Groans and death and shouts surrounded his own fight. Precise footwork, back toward Dido. Precise, precise. Block her wild swing.
"That may be true,"
he offered a smile, sharp and predatory.
"But as you just reminded us both, I'm more than a man."
A clumsy callback to the famous lines in both the second Gods of the Gates book and the second season of the series, when Dido had murmured in his arms that no man could seduce her.
"I'm more than a man,"
he'd returned. And then they'd paused filming to incorporate Kara's body double for the rest of the scene. More swings of the sword, some connecting, most not. And then the fatal moment came. He fended off her last impassioned attack, inadvertently shoving her onto the green-tipped rubber sword of one of his own men. The VFX department would fix the sword and blood later. The audience would see a fatal wound where only muddy silk existed now. Tears, final whispered words. As he knelt in the field, she died in his arms. When she was gone, he took one last wet-eyed look at the battle all around him. Saw that the forces of Tartarus were losing, and his men no longer had need of him. Then he gently laid her on the ground beside his own sword, a cherished gift from Dido from their time in Carthage, strode into the chaos, and allowed himself to be fatally stabbed by one of the dead.
"In the Elysian fields, I'll see you once more, my beloved,"
he murmured with his final breath. For that extended stretch of time, Marcus was gone. Only Aeneas, disoriented and desolate and dying and hopeful.